What's up, y'all? You're watching Union Minded. I'm your host, Eric, and today we're going to dig in a little bit and talk about working conditions. Now, I'm going to read from our inside wireman agreement, but this is for Local 26 specifically. However, it serves as a general rule of thumb for anyone who is a union installer of electrical work, especially in the IBEW. But as a general rule of thumb, if you're in the union and you're performing work, there are some standards you should hold yourself to. All right, so let's talk about it. This is Article 4, Working Conditions, Section 401, Employee Procedure. It is agreed that all electrical equipment and materials furnished by the electrical contractor shall be handled from the point of delivery on the job site and shall be installed by employees covered by this agreement. That means every piece of equipment that comes onto that job site that has to do with electrical has to be handled by folks that are covered by the wireman's agreement. That's an apprentice, that's a journeyman, and anyone else that's covered in the inside wireman's agreement. Add to that cleanup, unless there's a contract with a labor union that for laborers to do the cleanup. Cleanup is part of that install. You clean as you go. But we'll get to that. This is just handling equipment and installing. So understand, everything that has to do with electrical is ours, and we should not give that away. We should not allow other folks to accept the deliveries and bring it in. We should be doing that ourselves and only us. Section 402, Quality of Work. Workers shall install electrical work in the District of Columbia in full accord with rules and regulations of the District of Columbia Electrical Department within its jurisdiction. All work installed outside the district shall be in full accord with the rules and regulations of the National Electrical Code or any department or other entity having jurisdiction. All work shall be installed in accordance with contract specifications and in a safe and workmanlike manner. Any violation of this section shall be referred to the Labor Management Committee in a safe and workmanlike manner. Safe and workmanlike manner. This a lot of this goes to these guys that take the attitude, you can't see it from my house. You ever heard that on the job site? Hey, you're gonna leave that? You're gonna leave it like that? Hey man, you can't see it from my house. I've run into countless of those. Understand something. The only thing that we leave behind is our work, and our work has to speak for our brotherhood. It has to, because otherwise the customer can hire anyone. Why go to the union if the product comes out the same as a non-union outfit that costs less? You're supposed to put it in a workmanlike fashion that's level and plumb, square, clean and neat. All your safety precautions have to be followed. Caring for each other. Making sure you care for the other person's work. If you see someone else's work, maybe they lack the skill set to do it in a workmanlike manner, and you can help them. But this attitude of can't see it from my house, or it's going to be behind the drywall or whatever, we got to get away from that, because it takes just as long to do the job correctly as it does to do it incorrectly. And in fact, I would argue it takes longer to do it incorrectly when you're just rushing through it. Take your time and do your job correctly. You don't have to come back to it and do rework, which we'll get to in a minute, because that was just Section 402, and we're talking about a workmanlike manner. That's reaming your conduit. That's making sure when you're splicing that you're making good terminations, quality terminations. You got to care about the work you're installing. You have to. It's part of your responsibility to your brotherhood, to everybody around you doing the same work. You have a responsibility to each other to do workmanlike work, craftsmanlike work. We can't get into the habits of shitting it in. I don't care what the bosses tell you. If they're yelling at you to shit it in, your work is the only thing you leave behind. They're under pressure. It's their job to pressure you. It's their job. It's their job to be on you, and that some of them feel like they have to be that ogre. Others lead in different ways, but some people feel like they got to be that ogre. But you as a person got to be able draw the line. Keep in mind that people will treat you however you allow them to treat you. But your work has your name on it. Whatever you install, that's what they're going to remember about you. Not your jokes, not your funny personality, not anything special about you. It's going to be the work. Did he do a good, did this person do a good job? And that's what's going to matter. Let's go to section 403, faulty workmanship. And here's that shit it in attitude, get you in trouble. If any work must be removed because of carelessness or faulty workmanship by a journeyman, the journeyman shall be required to make such corrections for which he or she is responsible on his or her own time and during regular working hours. Provided, however, that representatives of the Labor Management Committee have first made a finding that the work was deficient and that errors were not made upon instruction of the employer or the employer's representative. So that's saying if you didn't care enough to do your job correctly and you did it wrong and it was due to carelessness, you can be made to remove that and correct it on your own time and not be paid for it. That's as long as your foreman didn't tell you to run it the wrong place or something like that, which happens a lot. And in those cases, a lot of times those foremen will blame you anyway, even though it wasn't your fault. And they know it wasn't your fault, but they got to find somebody to blame so that they don't look bad. And they'll blame you as, well, I didn't tell him to run it that way, but he did. So now we got to rework it. That's different. It can't make you do it on your time for that. But if you make the mistake and do it and you were being careless and you don't, yeah, they can come back and say, hey, it's right here in your contract. You got to do it on your own time. So my takeaway that I hope you take away from this is that as a union worker, as a union electrician, you have a responsibility also. We can't just be about what we're getting. We have to understand what we're giving, because this is a relationship. It's a relationship that requires mutual respect. We earn our respect in our trade by showing up on time, getting the job done in a safe and workmanlike fashion. And they show their respect by compensating us what we're worth. But it's a mutual respect thing. If we don't succeed, they can't succeed. If they don't succeed, we can't succeed. We do need each other. So take that upon yourself to do a good job out there. Follow the code of excellence and be the best electrician you can. And on the flip side of that, don't take no crap. Don't install no crap. Do your job and do it well. All right? And remember, the fight's not left and right, it's up and down. It's going to take solidarity to win always. Each one teach one. Get out there and reach one. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop some comments, hit the notification bell, and share these videos. Peace.